And there you have it, fans. The Hopkins High School pep band doing a great job with our national anthem. Also, we hear in the background the Lakeville North High School pep band. Both of these bands have a lot of players with them today, and they are doing an excellent job. As Alex and I were saying earlier, it's definitely going to be the battle of the bands today, as both of these bands can really ramp up the volume and really let everybody know that they are here and that they are excited about their fan base being here as well.
And they should be, Rich. You know, you get to this stage, it's really something special. You work so hard to get to this level, to get to this stage at the beginning of the year, and all that work you finally get here and it pays off. And it's really an honor and a privilege to be here.
Especially when you look at the very good teams that didn't make it here.
Yes, absolutely.
These teams certainly are well deserving of being here, having beaten some very good competition. The opening tip after a scrum was finally won by Lakeville North, and they will move right to left on your computer screen. A hounding man-to-man defense employed by Hopkins at this point. Lakeville North goes into the paint, goes up, no good. Shot by Stewart, no good. Here comes Hopkins into the front court. They are, of course, led by their star, Nia Coffey, and her sister, Sydney Coffey. Between the two of them, they're averaging over 30 points per game, and now there's going to be a foul down low. By the way, Alex, this game, as are all Minnesota State High School League games, are played under the rules of the High School League, which means 18 minutes per half, 5 timeouts per team, per game, 3 referees for the game. So these girls are playing under the same condition and rules as they always have played. Hopkins into the front court now. A long shot from the corner, no good by Anderson. Rebounded nicely, and boxing out for Lakeville North is Holman. Once again, that hounding man-to-man defense employed by the Hopkins Royals. But Lakeville North, I'm sure, having scouted the Hopkins Royals, knows all about this. And a touch foul out front is going to be called on number 33. That'll be on Sydney Coffey.
Sydney Coffey, number 33.
So we've seen right away the referees are calling this very tight.
Exactly, Rich. And, you know, I almost have to think if that continues, that may favor Lakeville North.
Well, you'd think so anyway. Hopkins in their royal blue uniforms with the white numbers, letters, and trim. Down low it goes to Holman. She'll dish out for Colander. Colander's blocked at the right baseline. Back out top go the Panthers, and Stewart will reset the offense. Stewart, just a junior, averaging 13 points per game. She drives into the paint, loses the ball. Here comes Anderson all the way down. 1-on-2. She'll go up and have her shot deflected, but picked up by Colander, and there's going to be a travel call in the backcourt. Hopkins was hounding in that backcourt.
They sure are, and when they bring that full court press, they can make life very miserable for you, Rich.
Absolutely. Taylor Anderson will inbound under the basket. The Royals moving left to right on your computer screen. A nice layup basket by Sydney Coffey for the first 2 points of the game. She found an opening in that Panther defense and just sliced through 2 of the defensive players to go in for the first score of the game. We're at 15:30 left in the first half. It's 2-0 Hopkins. And I think Lakeville North would probably want to keep this a low-scoring game to have their best chance at winning. Anderson, Coffey, Starks, Coffey, and Hudson, the starters out there for Hopkins, as Coffey resets the offense, hands off to Taylor Anderson. By the way, number 22 out there for Hopkins, T.T. Starks, is just a freshman, averaging almost 8 points a game. Lakeville North providing some very sticky defense. 3-point attempt, no good by Anderson. Rebounded by Schoberg, and she is caught in the backcourt, so she deflects the pass off of one of the Hopkins players, so it'll be an inbound for Lakeville North. And now coming in for the Panthers, a freshman, number 14, Amanda Goodman.
Good play by Schoberg, the senior, showing her experience there, Rich.
Interesting, they took out the senior Erstad, and they bring Goodman off the bench. Lakeville North able to break the press, and now tripping Colander will be Hudson. I think Holman was kind of bailed out there. She tried to make her way into the paint. She lost her footing and tripped over Hudson's feet, and it'll be a foul on Hudson.
For Hopkins is number 23, Mariah Livingston, replacing Sydney Coffey.
2 team fouls now. 2 team fouls on Hopkins. A shot in close by Colander, no good. Down court to Coffey, and her shot is blocked.
Stripped away by Schoberg again.
Substitute coming back in for Lakeville North. It'll be Lindsay Erstad, and she will give Caroline Schoberg a rest. Schoberg's younger sister is also playing for Lakeville North. But in the front court is Hopkins, shot up and good. A left-handed shot by Nia Coffey. Nia Coffey, her first 2 points of the game.
And she was flaming hot in that sectional championship win against Wayzata, Rich.
And I think the Target Center scoreboard is wrong. They have it tied at 2. It should be 4-0 Hopkins. Hopefully they'll get that corrected. Once again, that hounding defense. Starks guarding the point guard out front. Coffey guarding down underneath. The shot goes up, no good. Ball bounces around, rebounded by Starks all the way down court. 1-on-1 to Starks. Up. And let's see what the call is.
It's going to be a blocking call.
Basket will count.
That's going to be a number 22, Lindsay Erstad.
Erstad will pick up the foul, and the scoreboard is corrected now. It's 6-0 in favor of Hopkins. Starks goes to the line, makes the 3-point play, good with the free throw, and all of a sudden, just like that, Hopkins is out in front, 7-0. Yeah. Also in the game is Mariah Livingston.
And obviously, if you're head coach Andy Berkram, that's a situation you don't want to be down on the hole early.
Another hand check out front against Hopkins, and they will pick up their 3rd team foul. Starks will pick that one up, and that's her second. Hopkins does have to worry about foul trouble here, as referees are calling this very close. Lakeville North with Stewart trying to penetrate, can't, gets it over to Colander. Way down low, and the pass is tipped. Holman up and off. She was double teamed down there, could not get it to fall.
That's like
come the Royals.
And that was the 3rd bunny they missed early on in this contest.
A turnaround jumper, no good by Coffey. And on the rebound, there's going to be a foul. We think it's a tripping call against Lakeville North. Let's see. Number 45, Mackenzie Holman. And they're going to say that it was on the putback. So Hudson will get 2 shots. 7-0 and 2 free throws coming. First shot is up, no good. Back in the game will be Caroline Schoberg.
Gracia Hudson, one of the more underrated centers, I think, in the state, Rich. He's done a great job for Hopkins over the last few years.
She's picked up 165 rebounds this year. She misses both free throws. And Lakeville North, in the person of Stewart, will bring the ball into the front court. Stewart, single, double, and triple team. Colander down low. Her shot is blocked. On the rebound, Lakeville North is able to scramble, and it's going to be a tied-up ball in Lakeville North's back court. And the alternating possession will give the ball over to the Hopkins Royals. A good job of some last-minute full-court pressure by Lakeville North, as they saw Hopkins having trouble getting the ball over the timeline. And it does mean that the possession arrow now will point to Lakeville North on the next change of possession. Long shot, no good, off the rim by Coffey. Once again, full-court pressure by the Hopkins Royals in their royal blue uniforms here today with the white numbers in trim. Lakeville North gets the ball into Stewart. She's the leading scorer on the team, or the second leading scorer. No, she is the leading scorer with 13 points per game. Just a junior. She figures to lead a very good Lakeville North team next season. Stewart stops, jumps, pumps, scores! 7-2 now. Hopkins leads by 5.
Ooh, Colander got a hand on that one, Rich.
She almost triggered her own fast break, but Hopkins still has possession. Sydney Coffey with the ball. A long shot by number 23, Livingston, no good. Rebounded by the Panthers. They do a good job of blocking out. Even their small guards will do that. Colander up, no good. Ball tipped out of bounds off of Lakeville North.
And that's obviously got to be a big key here for Lakeville North today. They can't afford to let Hopkins get second and third opportunities, Rich.
Substitutes for the Panthers. Amanda Goodman is back in, and now checking in for Lakeville North will be the coach's daughter, Cassie Berkvam. She is a junior. She's averaging about 1 point per game. In the front court now is Hopkins. Down to Hudson. She dribbles once, up and off the glass. Double team. But did a nice job of going up and over the defense to make the score 9-2. 10:45 remaining here in the first half. It's Rich Carlson, the voice man, and Alex Nagel, the color man, bringing you Minnesota Girls State High School basketball. And now a pass gets intercepted in the paint by T.T. Starks. Down the lane comes Anderson. She's bumped, no call. Shot up, no good. Rebounded nicely there by Goodman. And back come the Panthers. It's the first time we haven't seen a foul called on some very physical contact down low.
I was just going to say that.
It looked like maybe the referees were saying you could go either way. And now there's a big collision as Schoberg goes into the lane, shoots. She and her defender both go to the court.
And Hudson will get called for that one, Rich.
Number 45, Garcia Hudson, picks up the foul. Caroline Schoberg, the senior guard, shoots up the left-hander. It's good. 9-3 the score. Holman back in the game.
And Aaron
for
O'Toole,
Lakeville North.
And Aaron O'Toole in now for the Hopkins Royals at the post.
Aaron O'Toole, she's just a junior, averaging almost 8 points a game. Schoberg makes both free throws. Schoberg will come off now, and she'll be replaced by Lindsay Erstad. It's 9-4. Lakeville North has a field goal and 2 free throws. Hopkins has 4 field goals and 1 free throw to make it 9-4. 10 minutes exactly remaining in the first half. Long shot from the right corner, no good by Anderson. A nice rebound by Colander. Back in the front court come the Panthers. Stewart down low to Colander, the right baseline. She's up to Holman, up and in. Oh, a nice passing play.
Yeah, great recognition too, Rich. She saw that, she could have taken it in, but saw Holman and got the pass to her.
Very nice passing play. Here comes Sydney Coffey down low. No good.
I think that's going to be a foul on Aaron O'Toole there.
I think it is.
Yep.
And the fouls are starting to mount now for the Hopkins Royals. That is their 5th team foul.
35 O'Toole, her first 15 foul on the Royals.
By the way, if we haven't mentioned it before, Sydney Coffey and Nia Coffey, of course, are the daughters of former Minnesota Gopher men's basketball player Richard Coffey.
Yep.
In the front court now come the Lakeville North Panthers. Taylor Stewart trying to find an opening somewhere. Colander again out by the timeline. She comes in inside the arc, down low, back outside to Stewart. Lakeville North having trouble penetrating this very, very tight man-to-man defense. It fits like a glove. Shot up, no good. Rebounded by Holman, and it's taken away by Starks all the way up, and the freshman puts it in. T.T. Starks makes it 11-6.
Well, I tell you, Hopkins can sure make you pay if you don't take care of that rock, Rich. You have to value the basketball if you're playing Hopkins.
Also, you have to get back quick on defense.
Yes.
Because the transition game for the Royals is so fast, you cannot take that for granted. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Hopkins. Back in the game comes Schoberg, along with Goodman for Lakeville North. And it looks like there's going to be a timeout on the court with 8:12 remaining in the first half. It's the Hopkins Royals 11, Lakeville North Panthers 6. We'll be back with more Minnesota State High School Girls Championship Basketball here on Prep45.com.
Minnesota State High School League Wells Fargo is pleased to support the thousands of high school students across the state that participate in fine arts and athletic programs. Wells Fargo congratulates all the teams for meeting at this
Alex, no surprises so far with Hopkins leading 11-6. Lakeville North still trying to adjust to this Hopkins fast-paced offense.
Yeah, exactly. And as you mentioned, Rich, it's really hard to penetrate on that Hopkins man-to-man defense. You have to be very accurate and very precise with your passing.
Now look at this. Hopkins stands back inside the arc, and Lakeville North is just standing out front with the ball. Nothing's happening as Taylor Stewart out near midcourt as the clock runs. I haven't seen Andy Berkvam employ this before, and now Hopkins comes out to challenge Stewart. So she will come inside the arc, into the paint, dish off to Goodman. Interesting concept there employed by Lakeville North.
Sometimes it's kind of neat to play possum if you have to a little bit. Sometimes it works.
Maybe it does. Colander now dishes off to Schoberg. 11-6 in favor of Hopkins so far in this game. Schoberg trying to find somebody. She finds Holman on the right baseline. Holman tied up, double team down there, but off to Schoberg into the paint. Colander for three. No, she turns it down, goes into the lane and throws up a prayer, and she's bailed out on a foul. That'll be the sixth team foul now on Hopkins.
Smart play there by Lakeville North, I think. Being very patient, I think that's what they have to do. They're down only 5 points. It's a manageable deficit, but you want to keep it. But you want to keep it manageable.
Absolutely. The first shot up by Colander is up and in. It's 11-7. That was the second foul now on T.T. Starks. She will take a seat. And number 33, Sydney Hopkins, replaces her. Next shot is good. Another reason they should go toward the hoop, they haven't been shooting very well from the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're very good from the free throw line.
Yep.
So maybe if they can draw the foul, if they can convince the referees to call some of those shooting fouls, they can get back on this game, because 4 of their 8 points have come at the charity stripe. Anderson now, the junior guard out front. She'll dish off to number 33, Sydney Coffey. Veria Livingston playing a lot of minutes out here, number 23. She throws up a runner, no good. Colander with the rebound. Hounded in the backcourt is number 12.
Ooh. Yeah, and that was a carry there. You saw that.
Mady is just a junior. She has just come in the game for Lakeville North, and she was not ready for that pressure. She turned the ball over.
Also back in for the Panthers, Caroline Schubert.
Stewart is back in the game along with Schoberg. And it looks like the original starting five is now out there for Lakeville North. It's 11-8. The Panthers have clawed back in here. And if it hadn't been for that turnover, Lakeville North could even have tied the game.
Yep.
Hopkins running their weave offense. Long shot put up by Nia Coffey, no good. But there will be a foul on the play on Lakeville North, and she'll get 2. Lakeville North probably committed an unwise foul there as Coffey was shooting from a long ways out.
Yeah, I agree with that, Rich. That was one that you didn't need to commit.
2 shots now for Nia Coffey, the younger sister of Sydney Coffey. She makes the first. It's 12-8. 14 fouls on the board now for Lakeville North. 12-8 the score. Next shot up by Coffey, good. And it's a 13-8 game. So just when Lakeville North had a chance to tie it, they give the ball up on a turnover. Yep. And look, they're down by 5. 5:40 showing on the first half clock here at the Target Center in downtown Minneapolis, where we've got the 2012 Minnesota Girls State High School Championship. Once again, a pass by Lakeville North is stolen. Coffey has it. She has it on to Starks. And Starks is blocked out of bounds.
Nice job by Mackenzie Holman knocking that one away.
And she did a good job coming in from the side, so she didn't pick up the personal foul.
Yep.
So it'll just be a throw-in now for the Hopkins Royals under the basket. Pass out front to Coffey. She'll drive into the paint. Left-handed shot is good. And all of a sudden, it's a 7-point lead for Hopkins. 5:09 left in the first half. Sure glad you've joined us on prep45.com. And another takeaway by Hopkins, and just then Anderson goes out of bounds. She almost had the steal and the trigger for a fast break.
Just so incredibly quick.
Lindsay Ersted now in the game for Lakeville North. Lakeville North is going to have to take care of the basketball, Alex.
Yeah, they really do. You know, down 7. We're approaching the 5-minute mark where we're at right now. It's important here for Lakeville North to get some more points on the board.
They've also got to adjust to this very quick, very aggressive Hopkins defense, and I think passing might be the key to that. You can't dribble the ball all day long because you're going to lose it.
Yep.
The more passes you can make, the more shots to the basket as you drive in, dribble drives, I think the better off you're going to be if you're Lakeville North. There is no shot clock in Minnesota State High School basketball, so these teams do not have the pressure of shooting. Shot goes up by Ersted, no good. Taken off there by Nia Coffey. She'll hand off to Anderson. Down low to O'Toole. She's up but fouled. Shot will not go.
Offensive foul.
Was that a...
I think it was on O'Toole. I'm not sure if she lowered her shoulder, but they called it an offensive foul. I think when they first blew the whistle, I think Holman
might have been traveling.
Yeah.
I think she was traveling because there are still 16 fouls up on the board for the Hopkins Royals. 4 minutes exactly now left in the first half. Lakeville North trails 15-8. They're in the front court. Stewart dishes back off now to Schoberg to Stewart. Stewart drives in toward the paint. To Holman down the line, and her shot is blocked nicely by O'Toole. Back come the Royals, and it's intercepted beautifully by Colander. Colander got right in the passing lane, right where she needed to be.
Yeah, right in the right place at the right time.
Holman out top now with the ball. Over to Colander. Lakeville North trying to generate some offense here, either from the field or from the free throw line. They've done well as they have penetrated into the basket like Colander did right there. Her shot is blocked, however. Boy, Hopkins is so tough on defense.
They really are. They really are. Especially right down there in the paint where you want to score.
And now as Holman drives into the lane, she is going to be fouled by O'Toole. O'Toole is just a junior, so she'll be back next year. But she will pick up her second personal foul, and that'll be the 7th team foul on the Hopkins Royals. And now substitutes come in for both teams.
Gracia Hudson comes back into the post. O'Toole may have lost her footing on there when she fell down on that play there, Rich.
It's the 1-and-1 situation now. The first shot is up, no good, and quickly rebounded by Nia Coffey. Boy, Lakeville North needed that one to get back in this game with some free throws.
Well, if you're going to get to the charity stripe, you better make them, especially against Hopkins.
Absolutely. Into the lane goes Coffey. Back out to Livingston. Lakeville North trying to employ the same defense as Hopkins. Shot no good, but retrieved by Livingston. However, intercepted nicely by Erstead, and back in the front court comes Stewart up off the glass and in. Twisting, turning, off the glass.
She can do it all. She averages 13 points a game, Rich.
Here comes Livingston down the lane. Her shot no good. Rebounded nicely by Stewart. 15-10 the score. Lakeville North only down by 5. But the Hopkins Royals, they give up points very grudgingly. And another hand check is going to be called against the Hopkins Royals. And my goodness, that's the 8th team foul already in the first half.
Yep. It's still a lot of time. Just over 2 minutes.
Taylor Anderson, the junior, comes back in for Hopkins. Also coming in, number 12, Erica Meady. So here's the situation. It's 2:04 remaining in the first half. Lakeville North trails by 5. 1-and-1 situation for Lakeville North. First one is good. Amanda Goodman makes the first one to make the score 15-11. Lakeville North only has 4 team fouls. Hopkins has 3 players with 2 fouls each, which have to be a concern to head coach Cosgrove. And Goodman makes the second free throw. It's 15-12. We're under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Long shot by Starks, no! Lakeville North did a nice job of pushing the offense out and forcing the long shot.
Yeah, that was an ill-advised shot there.
So with 1:40 left in the first half, Lakeville North trying to tie this game up as they are down by 3. The original starters are back out on the court for the Hopkins Royals, and a pass goes out of bounds as once again Hopkins got right in the passing lane.
Well, there was some miscommunication there too between Colander and Holman. I think Colander expected Holman to break closer to the baseline to retrieve that pass. And that's one thing. If you're going to be passing, especially with bounce passes in the lane, you've got to be very accurate and precise with your passing against this Hopkins
And this
defense,
happened about 5 minutes ago. Lakeville North had a chance to tie.
Yeah, exactly.
But very tough defense by Hopkins forced the turnover. So they got the ball back again, back in the front court. Long shot from the corner by Anderson. No, it rims off. But a nice rebound by Hudson. No foul underneath as there was lots of banging going on. And Lakeville North comes up with the ball. Stewart almost to half court, and she is banged by number 5, Anderson. And that'll be the 9th team foul.
Anderson, number 5, her first 19 foul of the Royals.
Chance to get within a scant point here now for the Panthers, Rich.
Number 53, Rachel Gansky, now replaces Holman with 58.6 seconds remaining in the first half. Again, it'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Lakeville North. Stewart, no, misses the front end. Once again, Lakeville North passes on an opportunity to make this score exceptionally close. And now there's 45 seconds left in the first half, and it looks like Hopkins is going to hold for the last shot. Anderson has the ball out by center court, right on the Timberwolves logo. Lakeville North does not seem to be in any hurry to go out and pressure her or to get the 5-second count. And it looks like both teams have resigned themselves to the idea that Hopkins is going to try the last shot, as Anderson just stands there with the ball under her arm. And we're down to 15, 14, 13, 12. About time for the Royals to get cranked up here. Under 9, 8, 7. Shot put up by Starks is good. With 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And that'll do it. T.T. Starks, averaging 8 points a game, puts the Hopkins Royals up 17-12 at halftime of our first Minnesota State Girls High School League Tournament game.
Well, Rich, Hopkins sure ran that last possession to a T. They did that perfectly.
We're going to turn it over now to Mike Peden, and he is going to interview one of the coaches down low.
Thank you, Rich and Alex. And now I am joined by Kevin Anderson here, who runs the site kjasr.com. And Kevin, we were just talking in the last minute or so. Lakeville North, happy at the style Hopkins is playing a little slow and not creating as many possessions as you would expect Hopkins to make.
Anytime the game is going to be this pace, it's going to be an advantage for Lakeville North. They can hang close. Anything can happen when it's a close game.
Well, Lakeville North took this team to overtime earlier this season. Do you think that's giving them some confidence, or what else is coming into this game?
I think it gives them the idea that they can play with the #1 Royals, and I think Hopkins is going, we have to, play our game, but right now they're kind of falling into the trap of playing with Lakeville North's game. There was a time in the first half when Lakeville North was on offense and Hopkins was in their zone. Well, all Lakeville North did was just hold the ball out there because we don't care. We're happy with a close game. So Hopkins has to be a lot more aggressive on both ends of the floor. Now, Lakeville North is playing a triangle and 2 on the Coffee Sisters. You saw it in the last possession there where the Coffees were in the left corner and they had Colander, Holman, and I can't remember who was at the free throw line. Taylor Stewart probably. And those 3 were guarding the rest of the other 3 Hopkins kids. Now they got the shot with Starks at the left elbow, but a 17-12 score at halftime right now favors Lakeville North.
That said, they are still trailing by 5, so what would Lakeville North have to do to pull off an upset?
Well, obviously it's better to trail by 5 than by 25 at halftime. That's #1. So, remember Hopkins put a blitzkrieg on Wyzetta and was up 20-0 before Wyzetta scored. What does Lakeville North have to do? They have to keep continuing to draw fouls, and they have to make their free throws. They miss a couple of front ends here toward the end. They have to be strong with the ball and not turn it over.
Now, the big discussion this year is the 100th year celebration of the tournaments. I know the girls haven't gone as long as the boys, and you offered your own take on that on your website, where you looked at the most efficient champions in the last few years and the most efficient players. And so how do you think that may impact the so-called debate?
Well, it just gives another idea of what happens. See, memory is selective. People forget about things even 6 years ago. They don't even remember some players from 6 years ago. So the shelf life of a high school player is 3 years.
And going off of that, what have you found? Because on the site, a lot of folks had said St. Paul Central was the consensus best team, but they weren't the most efficient team. That title in the last few years belonging to the Hopkins squad from 2006.
Right. We're measuring offensive efficiency. So the Central team was very, very good defensively, but they were not the most efficient offensive team. That's just what the numbers say. That doesn't mean that they weren't the best team. They weren't the best or the most efficient offensive team there.
And what have you noticed this season? Because there's been a lot of talk, especially about next year's recruits. We know Nia Coffey is Verbal Northwestern. You have Jessica January, Tyshana Johnson, Rebecca Dahlman, who will very likely break Taylor Hill's record without any controversy tonight. Are we kind of seeing another bubble like we did back in 07, 08, 09, or what's your take?
2013 class has been highly touted for a long time now, and for good reason. So, yeah, the 2013 and the 2014 class is going to be pretty good in this state.
And who should we watch for in that class? I mean, for some viewers who are focused on the senior group, but maybe not on next year's juniors.
Well, I think you listed a bunch of them. You didn't. Savannah Trapp isn't here. She's 6'8" from ESCO. She's going to be highly recruited. Jade Martin from Kennedy is not here. She's highly thought of. There's a lot, but she's already verbal too, Georgetown. So there's a lot of kids out there in the 2013 class that are worthwhile.
Now, a big change for you this year, not taking an assistant coaching job at Bethel. How did you describe your first year? I know you've been scouting a lot of games. And
my second year.
Second year, that's right. What's been the process like, and how is that helping you with this?
Well, this is my second year, and I basically am doing the same thing that I've done in the past. I go out, look at games, and pass along what I've seen to insider information to Coach Herbixmeyer at Bethel, and he can evaluate the talent that way.
And maybe he'll get another My Eye Player of the Year like this year with Taylor Sheely.
We have to replace Taylor Sheely, and she was very, very good. So we have our work cut out for us that way.
And where can folks find your information? Because I know once this is over, you'll be starting your AAU track and badminton, and you also do volleyball.
It's www.kjasr.com. It's not a radio station.
No, it's not. Kevin Anderson, thank you, and good luck charting throughout the tournament.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Kevin Anderson of KJASR.com. Let's send it back up to Rich and Alex in the broadcast booth. You're watching the high school state tournament quarterfinals on Prep 45.
Rich Carlson, the voice man, along with Alex Vogel, the excellent color man here at the Target Center. It's 17-12 in favor of Hopkins over Lakeville North, and I think it's just the kind of style Lakeville North was hoping for. Keep the score low. Unfortunately for the Panthers, they have been their own worst enemy, as they have missed too many free throws and have had too many turnovers, or else they would be either tied or ahead in this game.
Yeah, exactly, Rich. I mean, if you're Andy Burkham and this Lakeville North Panthers squad, you have to feel pretty good about yourself right now. You're down only 5 points, a very manageable deficit. You've managed to keep the score low, which is what you want. You had the foul situation without question in your favor. You also have to think in terms of what if. Well, what if we would have made a few free throws, as you mentioned? This game would be that much closer, or perhaps even Lakeville North would be ahead. But still, they've done the things necessary to keep themselves in it. And I think, the fact that they played them close once before, and they're close here again now on the big stage, you would think that this would have to give them a lot of confidence going into the second half. And I also think, Rich, that the first 5 minutes of this upcoming second half, as with any basketball game, are probably going to be the most crucial minutes of all for this Lakeville North team.
Well, Lakeville North did lose to the Hopkins Royals earlier in this season by 5 points. They're trailing by 5 right now, and that score was very low at the end, 46-41. This score is extremely low, 17-12, but I think Lakeville North is not complaining about that.
No.
Let's give you the scoring individual totals for the first half. First of all, for the Hopkins Royals, scoring 6 points was Nia Coffey. 7 points for the freshman T.T. Starks. 2 points by Sydney Coffey, and 2 points for Garcia Hudson, the tall center, totaling 17.
That stands out to me. Gracia Hudson has not been that much of an offensive force so far for the Hopkins Royals, Rich.
Scoring for the Lakeville North Panthers, 2 points for Schoberg, 2 points for number 30, Simone Colander, 4 points scored by Taylor Stewart, and 2 for Mackenzie Holman. That only adds up to 12, but that's the correct amount. Lakeville North scoring just 12 points, and 6 of them were on free throws. So Lakeville North, I'm sure, would like to have narrowed that score a lot more with free throws, and they, I'm sure, will again be taking the ball to the hoop here, trying to draw the fouls in the second half.
I certainly wouldn't think that Andy Berkman would be deviating too much from his initial strategy, which has worked pretty well up to this point, Rich. Both teams back out on the floor now. See Andy Berkman talking with his team down there, along with assistant coach Shelley Soule, who was a great player on this Lakeville North team back in '02 when they won it all, and then went on to start Moorhead State as well. So that's nice to see that she's still involved quite heavily with this program.
Brian Cosgrove just gives his team one last cheer as they put all their hands in the center of the circle, encouraging them to carry out their game plan. It'll be the same 10 players to start the second half. That means for the visitors, Lakeville North, Caroline Schoberg, Lindsay Ersted, Simone Colander, Taylor Stewart, and Mackenzie Holman. Starting the second half for Hopkins, Taylor Anderson, Nia Coffey, Sydney Coffey, T.T. Starks, and Gracia Hudson. Lakeville North quickly into the front court as they have the opening possession of the second half. Taylor Stewart finds Colander, back to Stewart. Stewart trying to penetrate off to Colander. Schoberg over to Stewart. There are lots of physicality going on down in the paint down there.
Yeah, especially between Hudson and Holman there, Rich.
They are really going at it down there. The two seniors know how important this game is, because you can't win the state championship if you don't win the first game. Once again, Lakeville North in their white uniforms with the red numbers, letters, and trim. They are moving left to right now on your computer screen here in the second half. Hopkins in their royal blue uniform. Caroline Schoberg, averaging almost 10 points a game, hits the 3 and narrows the gap to 2 points, 17-15.
I wouldn't have expected Schoberg to take that shot, Rich, but she drained it.
She really did. She felt confident. Long shot now by Starks. No, rebounded by Colander. And again, that shot may have been ill-advised, as it was a long way from the basket and barely drew iron. Stewart back in the front court now. As I was saying, Hopkins in their royal blue uniforms with the white numbers, letters, and trim. Stewart goes up all the way and ties the game. Taylor Stewart.
Great play by the junior point guard when she lost it.
And now Hopkins loses the ball out of bounds. Boy, you're a prophet, Alex. You said watch out the first 5 minutes of the second half. And here in just 2 minutes, Lakeville North has tied the score at 17 and has the possession. Hopkins showing some pressure in the backcourt. Broken, though, by Lakeville North. Shot put up, no good by Colander.
Whoa!
And the pass by Holman is batted out of bounds like a birdie on a badminton
Yeah,
court.
that was actually Schoberg was taking another shot, and Nia Coffey came away and said, that's enough.
But Lakeville North does have the throw-in in front of their own bench. Holman into the paint. She'll go up with the left hand. No good. She was forced into a difficult shot. Back comes Hopkins with Coffey. Intercepted by Colander. She will twist, turn, go into the paint. Triple team, but gets the ball back out to Holman. It almost looks like Hopkins has stepped up their defensive pressure here in the second half. They are not liking the fact the score has been tied. with 5 straight points by the Panthers. 15-15 remaining in regulation. We are tied at 17 in the first game of the 4A State High School Girls Tournament. Long shot by Stewart, no good. And there's going to be a push-off underneath against the Panthers. A long shot, not real good by Stewart there. Foul on number 22, Erstad.
Well, you know, early on in this game, Rich, as you remember, Lakeville North missed their share of easy bunnies, and that may have cost them. You know, if they can make some of those perimeter shots, of course that one by Schoberg early on in the second half, that's going to open things up for them down low.
Hopkins now back into the front court. No backcourt pressure by Lakeville North to speak of in this game. And it looks like a 1-3-1 defense for the Panthers. Shot is no good, but rebounded on the offensive glass by Sidney Coffey. Nice job of boxing out. Long shot from the corner by Anderson, no good. But Coffey goes up and in. Lakeville North did not block out there, and Hopkins made them pay.
Yeah, they sure did. And, you know, that's one thing. You cannot allow Hopkins to have second and third chances, which is exactly what they had there, Rich.
And not only did she make the shot, she has one shot coming on the foul, and it's good. So once again, Hopkins goes out to a 3-point lead, and Lakeville North finds themselves playing catch-up once again. In the backcourt is Stewart having a lot of trouble. She finally breaks the press, gets the ball down to Holman, and she is going to be called for traveling. A great defense put on by Hudson. Forced Holman into a travel situation.
Yep. Stewart did a great job just getting the ball across the timeline, Rich. The way she was being pounded.
Just as we say Hudson was doing a great job, she is replaced by Aaron O'Toole, and O'Toole takes over at the post for the Hopkins Royals. They lead 20-17, and they have the ball with 14-18 left in the first half. Down low, Coffey goes up and scores. Nia Coffey, she's averaging nearly 17 points per game to lead the Hopkins Royals this year. Long pass down court to Colander. She's double teamed. Stewart gets the ball knocked out of bounds off her hands.
Now they're saying it's Lakeville North.
And it's going to be Hopkins' ball. Lakeville North calls the timeout. Another costly turnover on the Lakeville North Panthers. They claw back into this game to tie it at 17, and now Hopkins has scored 5 straight points of their own.
And, you know, they've been able to do that by applying that trademark defensive pressure that they have, Rich, which causes a lot of mistakes and a lot of turnovers, and Hopkins can cash in on those.
If you're Lakeville North, it has to seem like you've got a double team every time you've got the ball.
Yeah.
Whoever is handling the ball, dribbling the ball, passing the ball, it seems like there's 2 Hopkins defenders right on them.
Right on you right now, and it not only forces you to do things that you don't want to do. When you have that pressure, it makes you're not thinking as well either, and makes you make bad decisions.
Absolutely. So here we are, under 14 minutes remaining, 13:56 and counting. Hopkins with a 5-point lead, and the ball. O'Toole at the top of the arc. T.T. Starks, she's got 7 points in this game, the freshman. And there goes a shot up and off by Anderson. Rebound goes out of bounds off of Lakeville North. Once again, Hopkins getting good position under the offensive boards.
Yep.
And getting the ball after that missed shot. Lakeville North is going to have to contend with that. A nice pass in and a shot by Nia Coffey for 2. And it's a 7-point lead for the Royals. Once again, Lakeville North kind of fell asleep on the inbound defense. And Nia Coffey went right in, put it off the backboard for 2. Simone Colander loses the ball to Starks. Fast break, 2-on-2. She is fouled and she scores.
Wow.
She's so tough to defense. She's so fast. And she doesn't lose the ball. She was dribbling. The defender was hounding her all the way. She kept control of the ball, put it off the backboard and in, and one. 26-17. What a turnaround here. The shot goes up, no good. But rebounded and fouled against Nia Coffey. Once again, an offensive rebound.
Yeah, exactly. Another one of those second
the
chances.
Royals.
And that's one thing you cannot afford if you're Lakeville North.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be down by double digits here.
Lakeville North is just lucky that shot didn't go in
Yeah.
by Coffey, but she will get 2 shots here. First shot is good. Already 3 personal fouls on Lakeville North, and that's the second one on Holman. First shot is good, a 10-point lead. Second shot is good, 11-point lead. And when the score was tied at 17-17, Lakeville North looked like they were back in this game, and now 11 straight points. And that is broken by Taylor Stewart as she wiggles her way in through the defense, kisses it off the glass in for 2. It's a 9-point lead for Hopkins, 28-19. Exciting girls basketball here at the Target Center at the 2012 state tournament. Long shot rattles in by Starks. Boy, she somehow finds her way to the basket.
When she gets into a groove, look out.
30-19. Hopkins up by 11. Again, a touch foul by Hopkins as Taylor Stewart was dribbling around the left baseline. With 12:31 remaining in the second half, that's the first team foul on the Hopkins Royals.
Well, the big challenge now for Lakeville Northridge is to try to get this thing back into single digits. Can we get it back within that 6-7 point range?
Exactly. Anytime you're in a double-digit deficit, you are definitely looking up from the bottom of the barrel, trying to claw your way out.
Exactly, and you don't want to think in terms of the home run complex either. You got to whittle it down one possession at a time, but you have to make each possession count. Ooh.
Going to be a travel called against Stewart as she carried the ball over the top. 12:07 remaining. Pretty soon the clock starts to be the enemy of the Panthers. They trail 30-19. They've got 4 team fouls already. However, Hopkins has 4 players with 2 fouls apiece. Long shot by Anderson. It rims in and out. Offensive rebound up and in by O'Toole. Another lost rebound by Lakeville North, and it makes them pay.
And this is a 15-2 run here by Hopkins, Rich.
32-19 is the score. Lakeville North looks a little bit ragged right now. Down to Holman. She'll twist and turn up and off. Oh my, just missed.
Yep. Those are the ones you've got to cash in on.
Nia Coffey being double teamed out top. And it looks like she double dribbled, no call. Coffey will get the ball stolen. And passed down to Colander, up and off.
Ouch.
And on the rebound, one of the Hopkins players will fall to the court, and there'll be a foul against Lakeville North.
Taylor Anderson
Let's
went
see
down.
who it's against. It's against number 30, Simone Colander. That's the 5th team foul now on Lakeville North.
And only one on Hopkins. Taylor Anderson went down there pretty hard on her back, but she appears to be okay.
Yeah, she hit the deck really hard, but they're leaving her in there. Starks has it. Down low to O'Toole, up and in, O'Toole.
And O'Toole
left all alone.
Yeah, she had all day to do that one, whatever what she wanted to
she
do.
was left all alone. And she made Lakeville North pay, and it's a 34-19 lead. 15 points now for Hopkins. Pass down low, long shot out front by Schoberg. It's an air ball, but it goes out of bounds off Hopkins. Schoberg trying to get the Panthers back in the game quickly with another 3, but the ball gets knocked out of bounds. It'll be a Lakeville North throw-in under the basket. Out to Stewart. Schoberg. Here comes Stewart. She'll try a lunging shot, no good. Rebounded by Sydney Coffey. Lakeville North trying anything just to penetrate. Shot from the corner is good. Nia Coffey with the three-point basket.
And she was hitting those threes from the corner in that section championship victory over Wayzata, Rich.
And now with 10:04 remaining in the second half, Lakeville North trailing 37-19. Calls timeout.
This has been a 20-2 run since this game was tied at 17. Unbelievable.
Explain it to me. How can that happen?
Well, you know, it's strange. I mean, when the game was tied at 17, all after Schoberg hit that three-pointer, you know, they came down on the next possession. They threw up another one that wasn't any good. And somehow I think that, you know, had Lakeville North remained patient, just try to take the air out of the ball, try to, you know, extend the game, whatever, that would have changed the complexion of the game. You know, of course, we'll never know, but Hopkins took advantage of that, and they just exploded here in the second half so far, Rich.
My take on it is that Lakeville North was playing their game to start the second half.
Yeah.
And playing their game, they got 5 quick points, and Hopkins finally said, no, we're playing our game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they put their game plan back into effect.
Yeah.
I think they awoke a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
And Hopkins says, we're sleeping no more.
Yeah.
And look at, as you say, a 20-2 run has built an 18-point lead now for the Hopkins Royals. And you see why they're the #1 team in the state.
Exactly.
It kind of goes back to when when they played Wayzata back in February. They lost to Wayzata by 8. But what happened last week in the section championship game? They beat Wayzata big time. Here we go, Lakeville North with 10 minutes exactly left in the second half with the ball, trailing by 18. Schoberg trying to find some opening. Again, it almost looks like every player with the ball is double teamed. Long shot by Stewart for 3. Taylor Stewart averaging 13 points a game, makes it a 15-point game. Hopkins in the corner to Starks, no good. Rebounded by Schoberg. Boy, that shot looked like it was going in.
It was lined up pretty well.
Just rebounded high off the board. Lakeville North has a chance to cut into that deficit once again. What kind of defense are we looking at here?
We're looking at it looks like a 2-3 zone.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. And it's a matchup zone, so whoever has the ball gets double teamed. Holman up, no, hard off the back rim. Looked like it was going in, but it hit the heel of the rim. Quickly back come the Royals at the free throw line. It's Coffey, no good. Rebounded by Colander, and that's what Lakeville North needs. They got to make sure and guard that defensive backboard, make sure they don't lose any of those easy ones.
But now, you know, of course, now down by 15 points here.
Stewart with the twisting, turning shot, and she is knocked out of bounds hard by O'Toole.
Of course, this takes them out of their original game plan, which was to take the air out of the ball. They've got to open up now on offense and roll the dice a little more. They can't afford just to hold the ball and hope to get fouled. They've got to attack the rim, Rich.
That last foul was Aaron O'Toole, and that's her third. So she will take a seat, and Gracia Hudson will come in place of her. Once again, pass intercepted, this time by Coffey. The ball goes out of bounds off of Lakeville North. Hopkins is so fast with the trigger outlet, with the fast break. Even one player has the confidence to take it all the way down the court just by one. Next shot is up, no good. Rebounded by Erstead in the front court to Colander, all the way and up. Her shot is rejected. Stewart will make it Erstead. Puts the rebound back up and in. It's 37-24. It's down to a 13-point lead for Hopkins Royal. Long shot from the corner by Starks, no good. Colander up to Schoberg. She's double teamed. She gets away into the paint. Off to Stewart, another three, no good. Rebounded by Holman. Another offensive rebound here for the Panthers. Pass down low is lost by Colander, picked up by Hopkins. Quickly comes Anderson. Looks like she traveled, no call. Starks with the putback up, no good, but she is fouled.
Anderson may have gotten away with one there on that one, Rich.
I think maybe she did.
Yeah, that was a nice play down there on that one, that last possession when they scored by Lindsay Erstad.
Yep.
The 5'5" senior with a rebound and putback on that.
You know, one thing that Hopkins does, as Starks missed the first one, is they make you take bad shots, and they make you look bad on your offensive set.
Yep.
You're off balance. You're falling over your own feet. They're so good on defense that they make you look bad.
Yeah, that's really
Both
the
shots
truth.
were missed, but the offensive rebound is put back up and no good. Coffee got underneath somehow the defense, and now here
There's
again.
Nia Coffee again.
Coffee takes it up there to Anderson, no good, but another offensive rebound. My goodness, Lakeville North is dying on the defensive boards here.
Yeah, they sure are. And those turnovers are really eating away at them right now, Rich.
The shooting percentage for Hopkins is not that good.
No,
but when you have such strong rebounding, you can put those back and you can lead by 13. And now 2 shots coming here for Nia Coffee.
That rebounding percentage isn't going up right now either.
Livingston, 23 back in.
And Hopkins is helping Lakeville North by not making their free throws. So with 7:24 remaining, that's the first free throw made here in the second half. So it's a 38-24 game.
14 points, still a chance here for Lakeville North, but they've got to be very, very good with the ball here. They cannot afford to turn it over.
Backcourt pressure. Can Lakeville North get over the timeline? They do. Schoberg double team. Erstad is fouled way out top, and Coach Cosgrave cannot be happy with that because that's going to be the third on Hudson. So both of the post players will have 3 personal fouls. My correction, that's the second personal on Hudson. The third team foul on Hopkins. Lakeville North already has 7 team fouls here in the second half.
Complete turnaround from the first half, Rich.
Number 3, Cassie Berkvam, passes the ball in for Lakeville North as she has entered the game. She is a junior, coach's daughter. Number 22, Erstad, trying to find somebody. She does. She finds Goodman. Her shot no good. And Hopkins, so good on the backboards, brings the ball down the court. Goodman knocks the ball out of bounds. Goodman's showing some aggressiveness here on defense for Lakeville North. 11 points in the game so far for Taylor Stewart, and that has been most of Lakeville North's offense. Sydney Coffey with the ball. Over to her sister, Nia Coffey. Richard Coffey, their father, was one of the greatest rebounders in the history of Gopher men's basketball. He could really hit the boards, offensive and defensive. Now there's going to be a timeout, the first one of the game, called by Hopkins. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be right back with more Minnesota Girls State High School basketball. 38-24, Hopkins leads Lakeville North. Rich Carlson, the voice man, along with Alex Nagel, the color man, here at Target Center, bringing you Minnesota State Girls High School Championship basketball in the 2012 tournament. Throw in, and very smartly, Starks jumps into the, or not Starks, but Livingston jumps into the backcourt to avoid the over and back. Hopkins moving right to left on your computer screen here in the second half. We're down to 6 minutes and 5 seconds. And time is running out here for the Lakeville North Panthers as they only have 24 points so far in this game. Starks tries to drive the left baseline, but she is fouled. Let's see if it's a shooting foul. Getting the personal foul will be number 22, Ersted, and it will be a shooting foul. So TT Starks, the freshman guard, will go to the free throw line for 2. 38-24 with 5:56 remaining in regulation. Starks makes the first. Substitutions now in for both teams. Colander comes back in for the Panthers. Second shot up is good. And it's 40-24 in favor of Hopkins. Pass is knocked out of bounds by the Royals as once again they give Lakeville North fits trying to get the ball just into the front court. Colander now with the ball. Trying to find somewhere to go. She twists and turns right baseline. She'll go up. No, she is blocked there. She gets the ball out to Ersted. Stewart hoping to find an opening. She cannot. Her pass goes out of bounds. Let's see if it's tipped. It was not. No. It's Hopkins' ball.
Well, there was some miscommunication again there. Stewart wanted to hit Holman on the opposite side, and that's what makes those cross-court passes so dangerous, Rich.
And now it's going to be a foul in the backcourt on Ersted, and that, my folks, will be the 9th team foul on Lakeville North. Ersted will pick up that foul. That'll be her 3rd. She'll be replaced now by number 3, Cassie Berkman. 1-1 now. The next foul on Lakeville North will mean the double bonus for Hopkins. Taylor Anderson shooting 1-1. She makes the first. My correction, is that Taylor or is that Nia Coffey?
That was Taylor Anderson.
That was Anderson,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that was Taylor Anderson.
She makes both free throws. Here comes Taylor Stewart across the timeline, down into the paint, all the way up. And she's going to get called for the travel. Her shot went in, but before the shot, she is called for the turnover. And now Lakeville North substituting quite liberally, trying to keep fresh legs on the floor. Goodman and Ersted back in now for the Panthers.
Taylor Stewart having to work awfully hard here for this Lakeville North team, Rich.
She's kind of one of the unsung heroes. Here comes Sydney Coffey, and she'll be fouled in the paint, just trying to stop an easy two-pointer. That foul is going to be against, I think, number 14, Goodman. First shot is good. 43-24. It's a 19-point difference in favor of the Hopkins Royals.
Cassie Berkman, Caroline Schubert now back in for the...
Second shot also good. 20-point lead now for Hopkins. 18 points in the game for Nia Coffey, even over her season average. And Lakeville North desperately trying to find someplace, somewhere to find some points. And now there's going to be a...
Wow.
I think it was a 5-second call.
Yeah.
Lakeville North could not find the open player, and they get called for the 5-second possession call. So they will give the ball up on yet another Panther turnover with 5 minutes exactly remaining in the second half. Lakeville North down by 20. Coffey with the ball, top of the key. Hopkins in no rush, and now as Taylor Stewart steals the ball, she's also going to get called for the personal foul, and that'll be the 10th. Count them, 10 team fouls on Lakeville North, and that'll give Sydney Coffey the double bonus opportunity for the Royals. 4:48 showing on the second half clock as Coffey makes the first one. That's the 8th point of the game for the older sister of Nia Coffey.
That's pretty uncanny, Rich, how the wheels came off for Lakeville North when they had the
Hard to believe.
17 all.
By the way, Sydney Coffey will be heading to Marist College in upstate New York this fall to play basketball. And the pass down low gets away from the Panthers. A quick fast break, 2-0 for the Royals, but they miss it. And a quick rebound by Holman.
One of the few they missed all day.
Exactly. They had a 2-0 break there, and they missed it. A long shot blocked. Cassie Bergstrom has her shot rejected, and back come the Royals.
Yeah, by Nia Coffey. She can elevate so well.
46-24. Hopkins scored 46 points in the last game against Lakeville North, but Lakeville North only has 24 in this one. Hopkins in no hurry, and now here comes Coffey down low, up and in. Let's see who got that one.
That'll be Gracia Hudson.
Gracia Hudson found all alone under the basket as the defense collapsed around Starks. And Hopkins is so good at finding the open player. Taylor Stewart into the paint, shoots, no good, air ball. Taken off there by Nia Coffey, and back comes Taylor Anderson and the Royals. We're down to 3:30 left in the game. Time running out on the Lakeville North Panthers. Hopkins so effective in their passing game, in their transition game, and their defensive game. They're going to be obviously the team to beat here in this 2012 Girls Basketball Championship. Taylor Anderson twists and turns her way down the left baseline. Her shot does not go, but she will get fouled, I think, by number
45, Mackenzie Holman.
45, Holman.
Holman came over just a little bit too late.
Third personal foul on Holman. And that'll give Anderson 2 shots from the charity stripe. She makes good on the first. It's a 25-point lead.
Been a disappointing day, certainly scoring-wise for Holman, the senior post. She's had an outstanding career here at Lakeville North. Had the unenviable task of replacing Cassie Rochelle once she graduated and departed for Wisconsin.
We want to mention Rachel Gansky now in the game, a senior for Lakeville North. And it's unfortunate for the Panthers that they happen to draw Hopkins in the first round,
that's one of the occupational hazards, I guess, of getting to the state tournament.
Next shot also good. Taylor Anderson now has 4 points in the game. And as we mentioned her before, she has been the unsung hero as she is replaced now, comes to the bench, as she is such a playmaker. She is such a good passer. Sometimes the final stats don't indicate what a strong advocate she is for this Royals team. And almost a whole new team in there now for the Hopkins Royals as Goodman drives the baseline. Back out to Schoberg. Goodman top of the key. We're down to 2:35 remaining here in the game. Down low, the pass goes no good, but Goodman gets it off out front to Schoberg. Gets an air ball picked up by Alexis Garcia, as there are 5 new players on the court for the Hopkins Royals. Goes down to O'Toole from the right baseline. Shot no good. Good box out there by Schoberg as she grabs the board and takes it all the way into the front court for the Lakeville North Panthers. Thank you for joining us. Prep45.com for this game. We're excited to bring you Girls State Basketball Tournament 2012. Shot up no good. Rebounded by Livingston. She is pestered down there by Goodman, and she'll be fouled by Goodman. And Livingston will get 2 shots.
Goodman, number 14, her 4th foul.
That'll be the 4th foul now on number 22, the freshman Amanda Goodman. Let's mention the seniors on this Lakeville North team. Caroline Schoberg, number 11. Lindsay Erstad, number 22. Mackenzie Holman, number 45, and Rachel Gansky, number 53. Next shot is good. It's a 51-24 game, a 27-point lead for the number 1 ranked Hopkins Royals. They came in with a 27-1 season record, and they are showing why they are that good. Lakeville North has the double post now with Gansky and Holman. Gets it over to Erstad, back to Gansky. Her shot is blocked. It's going to be a tied-up ball down in the paint, and the alternating possession will give the ball to the Hopkins Royals. And now 4 new players come in for Hopkins. Try to get them for you. Cornell, Molly O'Toole, Orbuck,
44, Aislinn Cornell.
Molly O'Toole, the third one in line of the O'Toole sisters
there you
that
go.
have played here at Hopkins, Rich.
And now Coach Andy Berktham will also put in his substitutions as well.
Of course, Alexis Garcia, younger sister of Anna Garcia, who started here at Hopkins some years ago.
So with 1:20 left in the game, both teams are substituting liberally. And Lakeville North is able to tie up Hopkins. And on the alternating possession, the Panthers will get it with 1:17 remaining in the second half. 51-24, Hopkins leads in this game after it was tied at 17 early in the second half. Shot down low is good.
Basket's good.
Kendall Nachis, the sophomore, did that one there, Rich.
She made the basket, makes the score 51-26.
Number 50 back in for Hopkins.
Foul was on number 32, Rachel Orbach. One shot is coming here for Natchez. 1:06 showing on the clock. Shot is good, 51-27. 24-point lead now for the Hopkins Royals. And they lose the ball. I think it's their third team in there. They get the ball back on the scramble. Each player hoping to get their name in the scorebook here in the state tournament. We're under a minute now. We're down to 42, 41, 40 seconds left. A nice steal by Natchez. She'll get the ball down low to number 13, Erica Roselle. And 4 new players now come in for the Lakeville North Panthers as Andy Berktham wants to get as many players into the scorebook as possible in this game. 34.9 seconds remaining. Even though the final result we don't know, we do know that Hopkins will be moving on, and they will play the winner of Edina and Duluth East. And that game will be coming up later today, and I think I'm wrong on that. That's not the matchup. Next shot goes over the backboard and out of bounds.
Actually, they will get the winner of St. Michael, Albertville, and Eastview coming up. I did see the Edina team come into the stands here just a little bit ago. However,
10, 9, 8, 7 seconds, 51-29. Hopkins with a 22-point lead here as they bring the ball into the front court, and that'll do it. First game of the 4A Girls Minnesota State High School Basketball Tournament goes to the number 1 ranked Hopkins Royals by a score of 51-29.
well, Rich, and it was that decisive run that Hopkins got on after things were tied up at 17-all. That was the difference maker in this one, and they never looked back after that.
2 minutes into the second half, Lakeville North had tied the score at 17.
Yep.
The rest of the second half, they only managed 12 points.
Yeah, that seems just uncanny. But again, that just shows you how incredibly good Hopkins is with that pressure defense. They give you very little room to breathe. and you have to be so good with everything that you do. And as you said, they can make very good teams like Lakeville North look bad on their offensive sets.
There's no doubt about that, and it almost seemed like when Hopkins called a timeout there with the score tied, coach says, okay, let's put it into hyperspeed now, and let's get back to play our game, and that's exactly what happened. They just ran right away from the Lakeville North Panthers. Panthers were ranked number 9 coming into this game, so give them credit for giving it all they had, but it was not enough to hold off the Royals from Hopkins High School. Well, that'll do it for our first game. Rich Carlson, the voice man, along with Alex Nagel, the color man, bringing you the girls' state basketball tournament from the Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Our final score of game number 1, the Hopkins Royals 51, the Lakeville North Panthers 29.